You left Brightfield after a awkward, weird dinner and
Yeah.
continued your travels.
But accurate.
Super awkward dinner. Oh, I totally forgot. Like, I wasn't even picturing us having to carry in Flint to the dinner until we got released, also.
They dropped it at the front door.
I know, but like, I wasn't even picturing that, like, at that time. Also, I was gonna say, I feel like this probably was the best choice, but it would have been interesting to see a trial happen in D&D also.
We've done it. Not with you guys.
It has
Oh, you
occurred.
have?
Huh?
It has occurred.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out in the wilds.
Hmm.
Different set of them.
Ironically enough, of all the places to have a trial, the wilds was it.
Yeah.
No, that would have been fun. And who knows if I don't know if there's an actual trial system around here. That I don't know how the actual law system works out here, but I know Tower has faith in the law. So
Yeah, that was very evident.
I'll
If
tell
you
you
don't
this:
know what the law is, you have to have faith in it.
there's less of it here than there is, or there's less of it over here than there is towards the bigger cities. That's for sure.
right, right. So anything could have happened, but I'm glad we ended up doing what it was the right choice. I agree with that. Out of character.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's where you find yourselves, picking yourselves up in the early hours of the morning, I assume, at the camp that you've made a few hours outside of Brightfield.
I make sure to include some eyeballs for my friends this morning, as I know what they're into now.
If you could not.
Oh well, okay.
I never tried that part.
Well,
Pretty good.
I don't think Flint is going to finish his.
They weren't bad so much as they were unnerving.
Hmm.
Hmm. Interesting.
But I make sure to give Ursula much robo affection today.
Whoa.
As she fades in and out from money bags. Anyway.
Let's put more distance between us and that town. Or that man, I guess.
But the town
Indeed.
is fine. The rest of it.
Well, I imagine you get going.
Indeed.
I suppose I'll take a few perceptions for the day.
I'll throw him out. At least one.
You got it.
Say
You got
that.
the shield on there.
Oh, okay, well, fair enough. Here is the advantage on that one.
Oh,
Yikes.
I'm not that perceptive.
Just take a look around as we're riding along.
Come on up.
I figure we have the hood down for this ride. Let the air flow.
Oh, you mean up? Like, put away?
Yeah, yeah.
As you're trotching along these plains, you can see way off in the distance, you can see the landmark at this point of the lightning rail, because it is quite large. Even from way days away, you can just see it on the horizon. And every so often, as you see it throughout the day, you just see a flash of light along the trail of it that dissipates. And you have to assume that means the train has either left or arrived where it's headed from would be Arth Davis. Not necessarily that you are traveling to Arth Davis, but still technically in that direction from this far away. And Flint, what you pick up to your way off on the right on some land, you do see a little modest farmstead home, and you get the idea that that probably is the property that a long time ago you guys saw a job for. You passed it up. For a moment, you wonder, people still squatting there?
Squat house. It's like, hey, y'all reckon that's the squatter's house?
I do not remember this. It's the
Little
squatters.
house on the prairie out to the north of the town.
Well, there ain't much else around, so could be. Did you want to check it out?
As I look around at the general lack of other stuff going on out here. Theoretically, it couldn't hurt. All we really know is there's somebody who was squatting there that somebody doesn't want squatting there.
Sure.
I
Worth a
don't
look.
mind looking.
What exactly would a squatter look like as opposed to somebody living there proper?
It's a good question.
Fair point. Like I said, we ain't got much of a. What's the word I'm looking for? Context.
I think you guys do have still have information on that from a long time ago. If that is something you want to look into.
I mean, yeah, if we're gonna be looking at this
I think
building at
it's
all, we should definitely.
I think it's written down somewhere.
Rails, steeds, jail car. Definitely not the shared spoils.
I would imagine if that document that has all of like the that people refer to sometimes, like a Google Doc or something, isn't there one of
Oh,
those? It's
yeah.
probably there by nature. If they don't, that would be crazy.
I don't think so, because this is more about the locations that we go to.
Right.
I don't think it has options or anything.
I only have you all. Wow. Whoa. I did not know this was a feature of Roll20.
Holy Lolly, what did you find?
What?
You can look at every single chat that ever happened.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
Yeah, you scroll to the top.
The deep lore.
Is it searchable?
In a way.
Can't imagine it'd be easy, but probably.
Guess that is a really neat feature. Because I swear somebody recorded it, but I wonder if it just got recorded on this chat and never anywhere else again. But I do remember for sure that this individual was wanted dead. That was one of the reasons you skipped over it.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
And considering we don't even remember all the specifics of this, do we really want to go and try to kill someone right now?
Oh, I don't think we were trying to fulfill the orders of the job. In fact, the fact that we did not take the job leaves us open to deal with the situation in a non-lethal method. If there was a situation there at all, and if indeed we wanted to, as the children say, stick our big noses in it.
Okay.
Right. Do we want to deal with a no context killing job or not?
So what you can see from here as you kind of approach we'll call it the more private road. Like obviously if someone were to live there, they'd branch off from this main path, and you kind of reach that crux point. What you can see in the distance of where you're thinking about going, there is tall wheat fields, probably somewhere in the ballpark. Not wheat, excuse me, I meant to say corn. There it is, corn. and we know how tall corn can be.
As high as an elephant's eye.
Mm.
It seems to be quite a extensive, uh, overgrown, unkept cornfield, as it does seem to be on the abandoned side of things. And
Okay.
the what?
No, sorry. A scene from Half Baked just came into my head. Now that it's, you ever take your pants off and run backwards through a cornfield?
I mean, be my
It,
guest.
no, it's a guy
Uh, yeah.
describing prison. Is what?
Hmm.
So anyway.
And pretty modest, as I said, but quite worse for wear and disheveled, shack-like uh, building. Is it a home? I don't know.
It's a house.
Yeah. Hmm.
I believe that's a
That
farmstead.
that's kind of central to that. What's that? What was that, Brian?
Sorry, I believe that's a farmstead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
To answer your question, Sheriff, I do not mind taking a look. And this is kind of out of character, though. Uh, and I'm sure it's been asked before. Once a job is like accepted or whatever, is there like a big rush to get to the job? I'm sure they're waiting, but is there a penalty for lateness, or would side
Uh,
questing be like doable?
I mean, those you talking about the one that you took from the Adventuring Guild and like
Yes.
adventure because this was just a bounty
Yeah,
job.
yeah, no, I'm talking about the one for the Adventurers Guild that we're on our way to. If we did
Hmm.
do like a bunch of stops on the way, would that be an issue for that job?
Yeah, because we have already delayed a day and a half or 2 days or something.
Right.
Right. It kind of depends how pressing the job actually is.
Okay.
I mean that's a little obvious, I suppose.
These goods aren't going to get
Uh,
any more stolen.
right. But if you were trying to find someone,
Hmm.
uh,
Sure.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
fair. Yeah, totally, totally.
But there's no
Or
penalty or like you have to be there in X amount of time from the Adventurers Guild.
I mean, no, they're not going to find you
Sure. It just might make the
but they,
job much more difficult.
or
If
obsolete,
sure.
depending on what the job is.
I've got to step away for a moment, but my vote is to keep going since we don't have a lot of information, and taking people out is kind of a sore spot for us at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to push you towards going to this house or not. That's
Hmm.
up to you, but I just feel bad because the part of the decision making is because we can't find the information that was given. I can't promise that
Mm.
it was any more than what you have right now, but like I just feel bad that you don't have all the information, and then there's a decision being made because of that. That's what kind of sucks to me.
I don't think that's anything really to worry about
Yeah.
necessarily because the fact that a lot of time has passed since then, like our characters probably would have as much information as we currently have. I think is
Mhm.
kind
Yeah,
of
because
the
that was before
Yeah.
we went and did the big trip, right?
hmm
Oh yeah.
So,
So yeah,
yeah.
and if the sheriff is losing interest, I'm not particularly curious too much myself. You
But
too?
the whole
I'm not.
point was
Yeah.
the location exists and it is
Yes.
out there and it is off this road as described between Brightfield and Arthavis, and whether it is waiting for you or is no longer an issue is another story.
Right. Right.
So
And I'm sure we're gonna have to pass by again, and we may check in later. But I think for now we're
yeah, sure.
moseying right along. Unless Shaw had a different opinion about it.
Well, it don't matter because 3 of the 4 voted. No, I don't care.
Fair.
Cool. And
Onward.
that their place becomes yet again a distant memory as you
You said
continue on.
the lightning rail is coming from Arthavis. Where is it going to? I guess I'm confused. Oh, we're traveling north. Is that what direction we're going?
Ish,
And so
like
that the
it's
train is
it's like
going north
a
as well.
it's kind of a northeast-ish situation.
Because where's the next stop? I guess is my question on the lightning rail.
Another big city.
We don't know the name of it.
I'm sure you should. Oh. Ow. Oh god. Ah. Oh no.
Oh no, a
This,
disaster
this is
just
a,
happened.
no, this is a terrible situation.
What's
I
you need
I
help?
pulled the big bag of books out of the crate, but I did it in a way that I looped my arm on the other side of the chair, and my arm is too
Oh.
short to set the bag down, and I don't want to drop the bag, but it's weighing my arm down and just pulling it on the top of the chair, which is edged. So I'm like slicing my arm on the chair, and I can't reach
You
the
need
bag with
help?
my other arm.
You're not already on your way? What are
I've
you
done it. No,
doing?
I fixed it. I got it. I fixed it.
Well, he was
But
taking so long. I asked in the beginning, and he didn't say anything, and he was taking so long to actually say what the problem was.
wow, that was insane. Well, because I was trying to make sense of what I was saying through pain, so
Right.
it was a little difficult. I apologize. I couldn't get it out fast enough. But that was it was very strange. But we're okay now. I probably just have a decent mark on my arm. You know, part of my problem is with this answer is that I am still spitballing a couple names
You,
for the
you don't have
ruling
to say
city.
the name. I just got confused because for some reason I thought we were traveling east, and I thought that Arthavis was the farthest west stop of the train, and so that's why I was just confused
That is
why we were
true.
seeing it. But I forgot we were going northeast. So
Yeah, it is the furthest west stop for the train. That is correct.
But wait, yeah. So how? I don't know. Anyways, are we? How close are we to Arthavis? Because how would we be seeing it?
You are a matter of days away,
And he did
and that's
mention that
what.
like it was visible at a distance, even days away. It's so big and monumental.
Yeah,
And
it's huge, and it's
Okay.
raised. Like
Oh.
you could not climb up. Sorry, I think I mentioned that before, but like when you
Oh.
saw it before, but I didn't mention it this time.
Okay.
It is raised like a monorail, if you will, on
Oh,
these
I
big
forgot
stone
that.
pillars
Okay.
that go way up into the air. Like you cannot physically get on the train from the ground level. It is,
Got it.
you know, very high. So from a distance, you can see it trailing off, and that's like so they don't have to mess with the different terrains as much if they build it that high. Plus, people will have a harder time train at that distance as well. It's a
Mhm.
whole thing.
Animals getting in the way. Cheers.
Exactly. So
Okay, that makes
that
sense.
makes more sense. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm still kind of like
No,
I
that's fine. I
cannot
didn't.
solidify certain names for certain places. I have a list that I keep looking at. I'm like, I like the sound of it. I like.
Yeah, it was more
that's
of
on
I
me.
wasn't understanding where we were and where we were traveling and how the train worked in relation.
Yeah, you
to all
guys
that. So I
are
get it
saying
now.
you want to skirt around Arthavis, but in the grand scheme of the continent, you are still traveling arguably towards Arthavis. So you are that you know that kind of stuff is going to be coming into your view.
as we're like traveling away from this shack hut area, Tower
Mhm.
mentions we were discussing, and I know we are a couple days out, but do we want to ride straight through Arthavis, or do we want to skirt the city? I'm not sure if we came to a conclusion.
Right. Where Noah, what were your thoughts?
Um, if we were, we could go through the city. I just, maybe we could move kind of quick.
Sure, we needn't make any stops at shops or anything like that, or whatnot, and we can cover the cart.
Passing
Mhm.
through, in and out, no distractions.
But it is the quickest route.
Yeah.
It's fine with me.
Sounds good. Nothing can possibly go wrong.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know why it would.
Yeah.
Um, cool.
And we
I don't know if
continue
you
on. Tower spends, its time training and reading and whatnot, and getting those numbers a little bit higher every day.
I'm asking Shaw for feedback on my riding technique and
Looking
handling
good. You
skills.
can lean a little more to the left. I don't freaking know.
Good to know. Thanks for, watching out for my posture. I would hurt after a while if I'm just sitting wrong. Maybe that's why I've been not sleeping so well.
I don't
Um,
think that's it.
Well,
ouch.
yeah.
The sun is beginning to set on this day's travel, and in the distance, what's your passive perceptions?
17.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's 10
Well, less
plus
than
your
that.
your bonus, and it's Tower's got a 4 bonus, and then the 3 for being proficient. So
Um,
12.
14 for me.
yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't really matter at this point. Tower, you can see like kind of diagonal from the road off to the left. You can see probably two small orange glowing lights. It's probably a good 800 feet from where you are. Uh, you know, what's your intelligence?
that's a good question. Let me take a quick look. It's 0. I mean 11.
But but your wisdom is super high, right?
Yeah, it's 18.
Yeah, you can pretty much figure out based on how far away it is. It's probably like lantern light of some kind.
Hmm. Seems some travelers up ahead, kind of diagonal. You can see them there, Flint, and others. Maybe keep
And
a.
taking time to point them out,
Yep.
everyone can eventually come around to see a similar sight to what Tower's seeing.
W- can we tell how far away and like what kind of a pace they're taking, or are they stationary?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I'll do it too.
It doesn't seem like they are moving, or you know, assuming that it is even people. Whatever's controlling this light does not appear to be moving from their location.
Mm.
Or perhaps we are approaching them.
They would be in a way you are, I guess. Like you're traveling on the road, and they are like off the road
Sure.
and out into this plain area.
Could it
Gotcha.
be
So,
another homestead?
um, the lantern lights are too close together for you to believe that it would be part of a home. And if you had to try and guess, it'd probably be somewhere in between 4 and 6 feet between the lights.
Just two
Two is
lights?
what you can currently see.
Hmm.
It is peculiar that they are out here. Should we investigate further, I think we would need to leave the road briefly to take a look.
Yeah, how
Again,
far off the road abouts is it? Would it be like a logical place for someone to make camp or?
I mean, it's quite a ways off the road,
Mm.
and some. I mean, maybe it's just open hill and rock and grass out here.
if they decided to wander
Um,
off that far to do it, then sure.
and
Yeah, I get you.
yeah, I guess I suppose buffalo would be out here. Not right now. You don't see any on hand, but this would be a good place. This is that kind of terrain. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Deer and like I think you've hunted pronghorn out here before as well, which is like those little deer-like creatures as
Hmm.
well. That kind of stuff skitters out here like crazy.
I know you say that a lot, like that's the type of terrain, but for some reason I always picture like basically what's in maybe because we're looking at this image that way dustier, barren, desert type
Yeah, well,
place.
that's definitely where you were.
And the big trip out
Hmm.
west.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like out there. This is a little more temperate,
Hmm.
a
I
little less rough.
I picked a picture at some point for a thumbnail for that was different than this one for the YouTube stuff that I think is a little closer to what you're describing here. I'm gonna see if I can post it somewhere for all of us, but you'll see that'll come later.
Personally, I'm imagining like the cover of a Little House on the Prairie, but with a dragon and like
Yeah.
awkwardly photoshopped in.
Falling down the hill, like
Literally,
goes
that's
in it.
it's really close to what. But that doesn't need to stop what we're doing at all.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we approach it?
Of course, we do need to mind our big noses in certain situations too. So I could go
Keep
either way.
talking about how big my nose is.
No, not you in particular. Just well, our average noses, I suppose. I have no nose at all. Is having a big nose a bad? I don't.
I don't know. You just keep bringing it up. Actually, I don't know if I really have
Wow.
much of a nose either.
I went to look
I guess
up some like cowboy styles, and one of the first images was completely different, and I have to say Woody's never looked so good.
Ooh.
I got confused because I thought you were talking about my grandpa for a second. Because his name was Woody. Well, that's what
Oh
everyone
boy.
called
Could
him.
I share this image? Is it worth sharing?
What
I
I
have to save it to my computer, and I don't really want to save it to my computer.
No,
That's a
I don't
fun
think that's
image.
necessarily true. If you like open the image to its own
here we
web
go.
page
Here we go.
first, then you have to drill all the way down to have it by itself on a web page, and then copy that URL.
Open image in new tab.
I like how one horse is veering away while. I mean, I know because of the images that you have, but
Right,
that
right.
looks funny.
Here you go.
I'm off this way. Doo-doo-doo.
I feel like I'm
Wait,
about to
did I
regret
do this
whatever
wrong?
is about to be posted.
No, I did it wrong. Oh, it's this.
No,
Yep, there it is. Yep.
Oh, yep.
Talk about Woody's Roundup.
Yeah.
Not at all the image I expected.
There's actually 3 different options of different people, different types of people. But I was like, oh, well, that is one Western style. Anyways, what's happening? I'm sorry, I really did get distracted.
We're still
Oh,
deciding.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah.
This is luckily this YouTube video is already 18 plus, so we're good to go.
Oh yeah, I guess. Well, I wanted to make sure all our viewers could see what I was talking about, so they weren't like, "Huh?" 'Cause that's
Yeah.
one thing I hate when I'm watching something and they reference it. And I'm like, I need to see it. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
What's so bad about a blueberry waffle?
Kicking my boots or something.
Gross. I am fine with checking it out, or I am also okay with leaving it be. But it does give me pause.
About this time, you see from in between the lantern lights a spittle of, that's how I'll describe it, flame, or it's almost as if a bonfire ignites above where the lantern lights rest and shoot into the sky, probably a good 5 feet from, if you had to calculate the distance from where you're watching it from, just for like 3 seconds at a time, and in intervals of like 2 minutes, and then it stops.
Well, now I'm real curious.
When
I
they
am
send, like,
peculiar.
signal flares at us.
What was that?
Are they sending signal flares? Is the question. Is there a discernible pattern that we can, other than the every couple minutes thing?
I'll take investigation or survival. That makes sense to me.
Ooh,
I'll throw a survival check that way.
as will I.
I don't have advantage on that though. Should be the 8.
Damn.
Between
We all took survival. No, okay,
yeah.
Flint did.
Between the four of you, you don't see any discernible pattern. It's just other than what I described.
Sure.
But kind of racking your brain on known Morse code patterns or signaling for survival. Nothing's it's gibberish.
Hmm.
Is this type of, I don't know if contraption is the right word, but setup, I guess, is it like anything that we know of?
Not exactly. At least not upon not inspecting it from where I assume you guys have not traveled towards it at all. So from
No.
the distance
Yeah.
that it's at and the time of day, like we're talking tr- like transferring into dusk hours. Uh, I wouldn't say that you have enough information for me to answer that with any amount of clarity.
But it is explicitly going to us, right?
How do you mean? The object is not traveling, and the flames are shooting into like vertical into the sky.
Oh, I thought I'd heard that it was going in our direction.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's going up.
This feels like it's probably magical. Is Tower's assessment.
I'll give that fair odds.
Maybe we'd find someone who could help us with our cart.
Very true.
Help us with what with our cart?
Getting the magic stuff put on it.
Oh.
Up with some rugs.
Magic wheels and magic horseshoes, I think, was the other part of that equation.
That's right.
Maybe not wheels, not necessarily, but yes, some kind of magic somewhere at the cart, plus magic horseshoes.
Well, I'm keen to check it out.
Sure.
I've survived, weirdo.
I'll follow the group if that's what we're doing. I'm just. Arano is on edge, for sure.
Hmm.
Okay, traveling towards it.
Yes, yes, let's do that.
As you grow closer to this object, it does get a bit darker as, for whatever reason, it doesn't take long for the sun to sink behind the horizon. But as you get within a better vantage of this, you can now see that these are in fact lanterns. They seem to be hanging over the side of some large basket-like device. The basket-like device has a some sort of metal framing that comes up to a point, and at that point there seems to be some sort of contraption that is periodically spewing fire above itself. Do you keep moving towards it? You're probably a good 200 feet from this object at this point.
No, people around?
Uh, Not that you can see with just your cursory glances.
I may have been wrong about the magic thing. Um,
50-50 odds.
that being said, this is definitely a trap, yes?
Perhaps.
Could be.
Are there any places to hide around, or is it all completely flat? And
Uh,
no trees or boulders or anything?
it is fairly flat-ish. No huge discernible objects in this area. Um, there of course is like brush and things of that nature, but nothing that's like that I would consider like full on cover necessarily.
Feels like it'd be difficult to jump a party around here. What would you be
Unless
thinking, Tower?
they are inside of the thing itself, waiting for something to draw close. Perhaps something pops up under the ground.
And the thing itself, since we're speaking of it, the basket portion that I'm talking about is probably about 4.5 feet tall, I would say. Um, and yeah,
And
it seems to be a like 6 by 6 square.
the fire's coming from within the basket, yes?
Above the basket, there's like a metal
Oh.
framework, and there seems to be a smaller contraption at where the framework meets that is
Oh, I
spewing
missed
flame
that.
above.
Okay.
Hmm.
Then that does seem more like it.
If we are to approach, perhaps we should do it on foot. That way the horses don't get spooked by whatever happens down there, and we can run back to them if we get in trouble. Question mark?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, Shra, if you're more comfortable on a horse anyway. That just, but for the cart, I think maybe
Oh,
we should leave it
I
behind.
got really weirded out because my computer clock is wrong.
Ah,
So
sure,
it's like,
sure.
oh my god.
It doesn't change automatically?
We just started this session.
It does say no, it says it's 10 p.m. on my clock.
Oh, huh. That's
So,
weird. Yeah, that's really weird.
And I'm using Pacific time, US and Canada. Is there a better one? That's the one, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one. I think that's our time zone.
So what's the
Oh, you just
problem?
doxed us, bro. They know our time zone.
Oh no.
Time zone.
Set time zone automatically.
Somewhere in the west coast of North America.
Oh,
Or
shit.
Canada.
North America or Canada.
Okay, I found the problem. It synced on in January last, so I just synced it and
Ah,
we're good. So
okay.
I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. And now I'm like, okay, we're just a little bit beyond when we should stop. That's okay.
And we started late anyway.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
You don't think they would stop you before 10?
I don't know. Anyhow,
We're very docile people.
Both the party too embarrassed to mention an hour of extra game time.
Not that we wouldn't appreciate the extra hour, honestly. It's just,
Yeah.
time. Life.
yeah.
It's
Li-
just
oh,
that early
life.
alarm clock.
It's bigger.
Oh, life. Oh boy. That's what you see.
So yeah, Shra, yeah, it makes sense if you would want to stay on foot, but I think we should leave the cart here.
It also makes it easier to be quiet when you come up.
Very true. Should I do my stealth thing and stealth ahead? I'm quite stealthy.
Yeah, maybe.
Good idea.
And I'll pop Fat Bottom Girl as well, just here. And I have the long talk ability with Fat Bottom Girl now as well, so I can whisper back to folk after scouting on ahead. But I will stealth.
Cool.
It is pretty cool. And here's my stealth check with my shoes doing some of the lifting for me.
There they are. Okay.
And I'd like to see what I'm gonna stealth ahead as I know there's not a whole lot to hide behind or anything, but moving
Well, I just
quietly and
think of
quickly.
it as a quiet approach.
Yep,
Try and not alert any one or thing that might be in this area.
exactly.
That makes sense to me. I
And
forgot about these special things.
my shoes.
No. Something I'm
No.
staring at.
Nobody could ever forget your shoes, Tower. They're so fancy.
Here you are. Okay.
Wait, so does Tower actually wear shoes?
I did not before, but I recently acquired some boots of elven kind, and I find that they make my approach a little quieter, and I think that
So
helps.
you're gonna approach this basket object.
Yes.
Um, as you get about 80 feet from where this thing is resting, you can see that on the sides of the baskets there appears to be like ropes that are dangling off the sides and kind of going behind on the opposite direction of where you're approaching from. Does that make sense?
Yes. And I
And
described
you
that. It's
and
like
you
I
can
whispered.
mhm.
Yeah.
And you can see some large canvas cloth like material that was kind of splayed out behind that the ropes seem to attach to.
Should
There's
look for footprints. Wait, can we talk to you?
no.
Okay. Never
And as you get to the what I would call roughly the 60-foot mark from this, you hear the sound of a click as a gentleman pokes up from behind the baskets and has a pistol aimed in your direction. Back, knaves, back! No thieves today! No thieves!
Tower takes a step back.
And that's where we can end it for the evening.
Fun.
I will describe him. He seems to have very ornate clothes. Not, I keep saying that, but he's wearing a suit. He's wearing a
Mhm.
decent suit, not as ornate as the gentleman that you have met previously, but he is someone who is more put together than the dirt bags that you've been shooting in saloons and such, right?
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
and yes, it seems to be a grayish suit and a bowler cap as well. He has some nice uh, trimmed facial hair that has been groomed and waxed. Uh, his hair color is in the dirty blonde, light brown hue, and he is wearing spectacles as well. So just so you know.
Very
But
interesting.
that's where we'll leave it for now.
What have we gotten ourselves into now?
This does appear, for anyone still wondering, to be a fallen balloon